Hey, I'm Matt, and I am white.
I'm Julius, and I'm black, Cherokee Indian. My great-great-grandfather was white, and I think it's some Irish somewhere.
Hey, Vox Church, on this first Sunday of our race series, I'm going to have a conversation with my buddy, Julius Johnson.
I heard that you recently went to go minister at a black church, all black church. Was it all black church?
Yeah, well, David went with me.
David went with. That's neat. How did it go? How did they interact with you when you went there? When you walked in?
Well, I had to say, like, when I first was asked to speak there, I was a little nervous. You know what I mean? And it was actually something that, I don't know why I was nervous, but just like, I just got a little nervous,
Right.
And because I had all these preconceived ideas about what a black church is like,
Like what?
Well, like that's very emotional. It's like over emotional, Like I guess that's another stereotype. Like I've heard.
Well, like the hallelujah.
Exactly, like that. Exactly that. Dancing in the aisles,
Right.
and I think, for me, I was kind of thinking to myself, like, with that stereotype, like, how I started thinking to myself, like, how do I even preach? And it's had these crazy questions, like, how do I preach there? Do I need to be something I'm not? Because that stereotype is like, well, it's very emotional, and it's all about emotion, and it's very theatrical and all this stuff.
Right.
And it's not deep. That's what my stereotype was.
It wasn't deep.
Wasn't deep or
It
something.
wasn't spiritual. It was more emotional.
Yeah, more emotional and spiritual. And I got there and immediately knew that wasn't true. I mean, emotional, I'd say it's more so emotion. More emotion comes out than like what I normally have experienced doing ministry,
Right.
Or even in my own life in worship, But the depth is major there, you know.
Right.
So as I was able to, meet the people and talk to the people, and I was shaking hands a lot before I got up to preach. And when I was preaching, preached the same message literally I had preached on a Sunday morning here at Vox. And yeah, it was a little bit louder, you know what I mean? As far as like more amens, more hallelujahs, more all that stuff. But it was the same content. And I guess what I took out of it is it's not like that it's emotional instead of spiritual, but spiritually the depth is so much that it pushes out this emotion, So
Right.
it's got to be both, So
That's awesome.
that was cool for me. I left feeling like, God had changed a lot of my perspectives on, being a black church and what a black church is like. All right, man. So I got to ask you about a couple things.
Right.
The first thing is, it'd just be crazy for me not to ask you about Ferguson. I know everybody in their seats.
Sore topic, yeah.
Everyone in their seats probably like fidgeting right now. But I think this is important for us to talk about because it's something that permeated the media,
Right.
and I'm convinced that one of the issues with racism in our country is that that's how a lot of people, that's the only exposure a lot of people have to another race is the media,
Right.
Tell me how that hits you. Tell me how you felt about that when you saw those types of things on TV.
I think with what happened at Ferguson, media had a big play in blowing it out of proportion and blowing it up. My honest opinion of what happened at Ferguson, well, we see that it was two people that was dealing with the cops, The cop said that he stopped two boys. One of them got away, the other one got killed, I feel like if it was really a racial dispute or a racial, based on a racism, both of them boys would have been dead, I think that the boy that did die was just living that life, You don't fight with an officer. You don't disrespect an officer. That respect should be there. And then I see his mom get on TV, and she's over here discussing, this and that, and I could see the way she was carrying on, and she didn't teach that boy nothing. You can see her character, whatever character that she had, was the character that boy had, and it wasn't,
All right, I'll also ask you this. This is
Okay.
a question we get from people. Are all African Americans Democrats?
No, they're not. Are all white people Republicans?
Yes. No, they're not. They're not.
They're not.
Not at all.
That's good. That was a good question.